It is Andy with the FensePost indie music and vinyl blog, and it is every record collector's and music fan's favorite time of year. I'm talking about the time of year where we all hole up in our little rooms and analyze all the albums we checked out this year to compile our best albums from the past year. Starting off with number 22, my honorable mention, Khruangbin and Leon Bridges' Texas Moon. The only reason this gets an honorable mention as opposed to a top 10 spot is because technically it's not an album, it's an EP. The two artists originally joined forces back in 2020 for Texas Sun, and while the title track of that EP remains my favorite from the collective, as a whole, Texas Moon takes the cake. It stands above that release with 5 truly phenomenal tracks, blending elements of funk, soul, R&B, and psychedelic rock. There really isn't a weak point to be found. Number 21, Dope Lemon and the album Rose Pink Cadillac. Rose Pink Cadillac is Dope Lemon's third LP, and it finds Angus Stone continuing to pump out highly catchy, super contagious, incredibly hazy psychedelic pop. Released on January 7 of this year, 2022, this is probably the oldest album in the countdown. I still contest that Dope Lemon's debut 2016 LP, Honey Bones, is my favorite. But Rose Pink Cadillac comes in at a solid number 2, because it has plenty to warrant its placement on this list. Stone weaves in elements of R&B in Kids Falling in Love. He collaborates with Australian funk and hip-hop artist Winston Surfshirt on Every Day is a Holiday, and he closes the album with the eerie, Halloween-worthy Shadows in the Moonlight, which is my favorite off of the album. Definitely worth more than a handful of spins, which I did give it this year. Number 20, Father John Misty, Chloë and the Next 20th Century. The opening track, Chloë, sets the stage for Josh Tillman's 5th studio album under the moniker Father John Misty, and in fact the album as a whole comes across as kind of this old-timey cabaret. I love it. It's very different from some of the other stuff that you get with Father John Misty, but it still has that signature sound that Tillman has created over and over and over and over and now again over again. Number 19 is Beach House with Once Twice Melody. Beach House is at a place now where they can be considered quite seasoned when it comes to independent bands these days. I mean, their self-titled debut LP was released way back in 2006. That's when I got my grad degree. And this year's Once Twice Melody makes it their 8th studio LP. They've been around a while. There's plenty of good stuff here. It just didn't quite strike me as deeply as some of the band's prior work. And for number 18, Waffles decided to come say hi. It's Daniel Rossen and You Belong There. Deeply rooted in folk and world music, Grizzly Bear's Daniel Rossen's debut solo album sees him in both familiar territory while also expanding into something a little new. Grizzly Bear has always had a penchant for exploration and experimentation. When it comes to You Belong There, it's probably best related to Grizzly Bear's early works, where that exploration was a bit more free. Number 17, Entering Heaven Alive by Jack White. White is one of a few highly prolific artists on the list, and he is constantly creating and releasing new music. If not under his own name, he's part of a handful of current and previous bands as far as the White Stripes, Raconteurs, The Dead Weather, as well as running Third Man Records. Entering Heaven Alive is one of a pair of albums he released under his own name on his own Third Man Records label in 2022. This is the one that stood out for me. It is heartfelt, it's filled with great hooks, it's packed with great melodies, and White has his standard style of lyrical prowess. He jumps around, injecting subtle traits of genres as wide-ranging as Americana and folk to garage without ever compromising his ability to create a cohesive and unified sound. Then again, I mean, that's always been a skill of Jack White's, right? I mean, look back as far as the earliest albums from the White Stripes, and they did the exact same thing. It's what sets Jack White apart. Number 16, Hello High by Ty Segall. Ty Segall continues to be one of the most prolific artists around, releasing at least one album a year pretty much, well, consistently for the past decade or so. Hello High is his 2022 offering, and it shows no signs of Segall slowing down. With Hello High, Segall grabs onto an acoustic guitar rather than an electric more often than not, and he steps into the shoes of one of his biggest influences, Mark Bolan of Tyrannosaurus Rex and T-Rex. Here, perhaps more than any other studio album, that influence can be heard outright. Mostly the early Bolan years, pre-glammed out, pre-abbreviation, when they were just the simple duo Tyrannosaurus Rex. That is number 22 through number 16. Stay tuned next for my continuation of my best albums of 2022, 15 all the way down to number 1 over the next few videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.